We are going live stream. So we are live stream. Uh, Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Life Empowered. You are joining us with Live and Love Life Leadership, your community for life. And I'm your host, RJ Horner. I'm the host and facilitator, as well as co founder of this community. And we want to present you with content from people who have empowering stories that are going to help you elevate your game or your life by learning from our guests and their life stories. So today, my guest, um, I mean he is an influential person in himself, having gone through at least two careers successfully that I know of at this point. But mostly, I met him about a year and a half ago as a smiling face in the crowd, out at seminars, learning and taking in all the knowledge we can to help learn and better ourselves. And Anthony, I'll tell you, is not a young man, but he's still out there learning, growing, developing, becoming the best person he can. So my guest today is Anthony Florendo. He's a licensed and accredited psychotherapist. Anthony, thank you for joining me today.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. It's my
So
pleasure.
again, I mentioned you've got at least two successful careers that I know of. I met you. You had said you were a retired
Yes,
financial advisor or financial
planner. Yeah,
analyst.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. I, I have a university degree in chemistry because I wanted to be a doctor, but I got married before I finished my degree. So I got medical degree. I got a marriage degree. So,
I got one of them too.
so I finished chemistry, and I worked as a chemist in the pharmaceutical industry for ages until I retired from that industry. And I got my license as a financial planner, and I opened my business as a financial. And I retired from that too because I can't. I suffered a stroke. I don't, did I tell you I suffered from stroke?
No, is that just before I met you? Is that what?
Yes, yes,
Because I met you, you were in a scooter, right?
yes,
And you were still smiling, you were still happy, you were still vibrant personality, even
yes.
though I knew you'd been through an injury or something. I didn't know what your situation was.
I had a stroke, and also I have autoimmune disease that prevents me that it fuses my spine, so I can't walk. That's why I'm in a scooter, and so I can't do my job anymore as a financial planner because I can't keep my focus because I lost that when I had a stroke, and can't be working like like 12, 14 hours days anymore. So I sold my business, and now I'm a psychoanalyst and the psychotherapist. The reason for that is uh, I don't have to take so many patients, and I can uh, limited hours in a day, and uh, and I don't have to go anywhere.
And I
So
think you can still be useful, right? You can still provide useful service. You're not, again, you're not done at this point. You still go on, right?
no, nowhere near done. Nowhere near done. I think I'm more productive now than I was.
So I love that you've gotten a career that keeps going. You keep evolving or progressing.
Yeah,
But let's go back, if you would, for a beginning,
yeah.
or for a minute, and to where we start as young adults. You know what I mean? Youth, young adults. Talk about what that was like for you. Were you in Canada or
Oh, I was born and raised in the Philippines. I'm a very tough youth. I was born in the slum district of Manila called the Paco district. Paco means nails. So you have to be tough as nails to to live in that to grow up in that neighborhood.
okay.
So but despite that, I was able to get education, because of I studied in a Catholic school, and they offered scholarship for indigent people, and every year I qualify for the scholarship. So I got the best rate education. My classmates were the scions of the wealthiest families in the Philippines, and so I live in two. When I'm in school, I'm hobnobbing with the big shots, but then I get to go home and to my reality that I don't know if I'm going to have dinner tonight or when my next meal is going to come from.
Right. So you were given an opportunity that sounds like it's not available to everybody. It's not, just anybody in your neighborhood could have taken advantage of this.
Well, you have to you. I'm a little bit of a brainiac, so you have to have, plus you have to say the right things and and everything. So I'm a bit savvy very early on, right? To
I,
know how
I'm
to operate the system.
right. And I'm going to suggest something here. Whereas you have achieved, whereas your friends may have not, is that I think you wanted it, right?
Yes,
You wanted it to happen.
yes. My mom. You need somebody really, really supportive of you, behind you, because my mom, she would apply for my scholarship every year, and it's run by priests and missionaries, and they say to my mom, it can't be Anthony every year because they have two spots every year. They said it can't be Anthony every year. You know what my mom would do? She'd camp out outside the parish office and will not leave till they accept me for one last time to be the scholar for the and that happens every year for the one last time until
But
I
I'm, but
graduate.
I'm going to suggest you're also the qualified party, right? It's not like they were choosing you over somebody else who
No,
might have.
no. I make it. I make the grades, and I make
Right.
and my behavior was perfect. There's not. Yeah, I'm a poster boy for what a Catholic boy should be. Let me put it that way. So that's how I finished. I got my education, the best educational system that the Philippines can offer. And from there, I qualified to go to university. I was in university at 15 years old, if you can believe that.
Wow, that is impressive, actually.
Yeah. So I was 15 when I was accepted by the Faculty of Chemistry of my university, and I was we, we have every exam we rate all the students, right? It's not just in pass or where do you rank among all the students in that university because they cut off on percentile. Not so you have to be at least the top 25% percentile, right?
In order to move on, you're saying.
Move move on. So
Right.
I'm
Gotcha.
always the top notcher. I'm always in the 99 percentile, meaning among 100 students, I will score the highest among 100 students.
Up top 1%. Right. Yeah.
99 percentile. Yep.
Right. And so you had not necessarily advantages because you work hard. You put all the effort into it.
Yes.
So you certainly deserve it. When did you begin your career? What age? I mean, you had an early university
Yes.
education. When did you begin your career?
So um, when I was 19 years old, there's no more scholarship in university. And that's how it is in the Philippines.
Okay.
If you're in university, you pay. So to support my education, I worked as a salesman for a clothing manufacturer, and then and I noticed I'm a little bit of a shit disturber. I noticed that the the sewers, they're very skilled. The sewers were very skilled, and yet they're underpaid. So I told them, why don't you go to the owner? Because I know what our sales are, because I'm the one bringing in the sales.
Mhm.
So the sewers, and speak to the go and speak to the owner and say you want a raise. So they did. But the owner is very old school and he got very angry and he says, I'd rather shut this factory down than give you an increase. You're not forcing my hand on anything. Down the factory.
That's I can't believe that. There are people with such negative attitudes out there, and that's what we try to battle here, right? Because
Can you
we
imagine?
have to try and live a great life
Yeah.
despite people who would do this.
Yeah. So you know what I did, because now all the sewers are angry at me.
Right.
That we had a livelihood, and now you encourage us to demand for higher wages.
And we have now no job.
Now we have no, we're locked out of the factory. You know what? I opened the factory.
Good
I
for you.
opened the factory from scratch at 19 years old.
Mhm.
I brought in all the soap. What I did is I went around the neighborhood and rented, because in the Philippines, if you're going when you get married, your husband's supposed to give you a sewing machine.
Okay. Yeah.
So that you but no, but the women, they can't use the sewing machine. It's ideal, but when you have children and stuff like that, you can't sew anymore.
You don't
So
have time yet. Just can't manage. Absolutely.
yes, so sewing machines are plentiful in Manila, unused. So I went around the neighborhood, and my deal was I will pay you every month this peso amount. I'm not gonna say anymore because it's
Sure.
ridiculous.
Sure.
And my promise to you is I will return it to a working condition because it's stocked up, right? I'll return it to a working condition, and at any time you want it, no questions asked, you come back and I give you your sewing machine, and I won't repair I did on the sewing machine. There's a lineup of people who took me up on that offer. So
Really.
I ended up with over 30 machines, almost overnight, 30 machines, and I had 90 sewers, so three shifts, and I know the contracts where it's coming, the source of the order, because I'm the one doing the order. I'm the one bringing in the sales.
Mhm.
So to them, it's a invisible switch, right? They're dealing with the same sewers. They're dealing with the same quantity, same quality. It's just they're not invoicing. They're not getting invoice from the owner. They're getting invoice from me. It's the
Mhm.
same.
Yeah. So you kept them working. You kept them moving.
Yeah. And I had so much money. I had unbelievable amount of money, and because I used an empty land, just I just put a tarp over it. I just had rows and rows and rows of machines, and even my electricity, we just tap into the main hydro pole. I don't pay anything. But
Quite
you can do that in the
resourceful for
Philippines.
sure.
You can do that in the Philippines, right?
Yeah, I suppose. Yes.
You can't do that here.
No.
So so empty land. I took over an empty land. I squatted on an empty land. I borrowed machines from the neighbors. I had sewers who are trained, and that's the point of the owner. He's saying, although I'm paying them a little amount of money, but it took me months to train them, and it is because it's very delicate work. So it says
For
it took
sure.
them months to train them, and they ruined a lot of materials while they're on training. Because if you sew the wrong way, you cannot unstitch it, because unstitching takes longer than sewing.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, so I had lots of money. I was 19 years old. I stopped going to school. Lots of money.
You can make more money out of school. Why should I go to school? Right. That concept.
Yeah, no, I'm too busy. I'm
Right.
too busy. So many things are going on, and then so, now that I have so much money, I bought a house, and I got married. So I got married at 20. So I went back to school after. I got married and finished my course. So I finished my course at 21, and then I started my professional career at 21. So
As a chemist at this point.
chemist, yes. And I gave uh, my factory to my older brother because he can't find a job. My older brother can't find a job. It's hard to
Sure.
find a job in the Philippines.
Sure,
You know,
absolutely. There's a lot of people trying to get the same jobs and compete for the same jobs.
my first job, the ad in the newspaper says uh, 8 to apply for this job. I showed up at 10 because it's very far. So I got there by 10. I'm number 410 applicant. And then they administer a test to all of us at around 11. And then after the test, they cut everybody in half. So the half they asked to stay, and they gave us lunch. And then they cut and cut and cut half and half and half every stage until there were 6 of us left. And then the six of those 6 who went on training, 2 graduated from training. I was one of those.
Wow, from 410 was your number, and
But
however many more that
yeah,
stood in
that's
the line behind you.
how difficult it is to find a job.
Right.
So my brother never found a job. In the and he's a commerce graduate, so it's more business that he wants. So I gave him the job. he he ran it to the ground.
Of course.
But I don't care anymore because what what I did is when it was clear that I have to, because my deal with my sewers, so they stay with me. They they stay in the compound. It's like a sweatshop. I don't
Okay,
have
yeah.
a sweatshop environment, right? People live there.
Okay.
They take they live there. They go home to their family once a month. But the deal is every time they go home to their family, they carry with them a big sack of rice, like 50 kilos of rice.
Mhm.
That means no matter what happens, they can always feed their family.
Mhm.
100% sure, I guarantee it. So I kept that promise, even though orders stopped coming in because my brother was doing nothing. So in the end, I approached my uh, competitors, and I endorsed my sewers to my competitors. So they were never out of a job.
Good for you.
And then I worked as a chemist.
Right. You know what? There's very few people who look out, first of all, for their own interests. So many of us are just, trying to live our lives. We don't worry about what's coming or what's moving forward. It's just so much going on and we can't manage. But you were not only looking out for your own interests, but those of under your care. And I think that's important.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, I've always been. I don't see separateness in people. I don't know if you can wrap your head around that.
Sure, I'm actually of a similar mindset. Listen, I don't see us as different. We're all trying to do the same thing at the end of the day, right? We're all trying to wake up so we can enjoy the day, um, feed ourselves, clothe ourselves, maybe come home and spend some quality time with those people who love us.
Yeah,
That's all we're trying to do every day,
yeah.
every single one of us.
Everybody just wants, you know, to have a fulfilling life, be with their loved ones. We have so much more in common than things that separate us.
Absolutely.
People look for things that separate them, like, oh, am I a pro vaccination and you're anti-vaccination? Things like
Mhm.
ridiculous.
Anything could provide that dividing line, right? Where you're different from me.
Yeah, look, I'm darker than you.
Yep, the skin color, of course, has been the greatest marker that blocks us, right? My uncle is a black man. He married my aunt, very dark skinned black man, but I call a black man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because I don't believe it's a race thing. I don't believe it's
it's just
I'm putting him down by saying such a thing. This is my uncle who I mean, technically, he's like a father figure to me, right? So this is somebody who means more to me than anybody else, and he has helped guide me in that direction. So I truly, as much as the eye sees color,
yeah,
it doesn't register beyond that.
yeah. So I think looking for things to separate us, it's an artificial thing,
Right.
not the natural thing. The natural thing is we're all the same. We all want the same thing. We all, we all love. We all hurt, right? So to look for something to separate artificial thing to do and not the natural thing to do.
For sure. I mean, look at yourself. You got married at a young age, you said. Um, have you created a family unit? What was your family life like at that point?
Right. I have four children. So my daughter was born when I was 22 years old. She's my first, and then I have three sons following. We moved to Canada because my wife's parents are in Canada. She's Filipino, but her parents immigrated to Canada. And she said to me, "I will not be happy if I'm not with my parents." So although I have a really, really good job. I have a car, which is a big thing in the Philippines to have a car. I have a car. I was very young. I was in my 20s. I have a car. I have a good position in my company. I had a master's degree by then, and uh, and I have a salary. You can believe this, 12 times the the salary of a normal person. My children have one nanny each of them,
Wow.
not just one nanny for the whole family, one nanny for each child. So
Mhm.
they're watched 24/7. That's the that's my house was 8 bedroom
Mhm.
house,
So you
and I,
led a prestigious life over there.
yes, and I live in a neighborhood where the politicians, the movie stars, the very successful doctors, the very very elite live. It's called Alabang. That's where I live. And So I had an awesome life, but my wife was unhappy. So we moved to Canada, and I started from scratch in Canada. Started from
Because happy wife, happy life, right?
So I transferred the deed of my house to my parents because they never owned the house
Okay.
because we were poor, right? So I transferred the deed of my house. Uh, I sold the car, bought a one-way ticket to Canada. I made sure my parents are set. So I had uh, my dad's uh, hospital bills, doctors, everything taken before I left. So I arrived in Canada with three kids, my pregnant wife, and we started new life from nothing.
As many in the Philippines have done, right? Like lots of people have come over here
Yeah,
with the intention of, I don't have much over there. I don't have much of a life over there. Let's go start something new.
yeah, yeah.
And so that's an adventure. That's
It
something
is,
that, I mean, people from here would never know, right? We
yeah.
live here, we grew up here, we have a good life from our early childhood. We don't know the fact of emigrating to try and seek a better life.
No, no. It's like uh, it's a different world. Have you been to Southeast Asia?
I have never truly been anywhere. I've crossed the US border, so I could say I've been to the US, and I've flown to Newfoundland. Oh, and now I've been to Mexico. I went to Mexico last year. So I'm not very traveled.
Okay. Uh, Southeast Asia is a different world. It's not like, oh, it's a different scenery. It's not just a different scenery. It's a different world, different system, different values. Uh, you know, different challenges. Like we get earthquakes, tornadoes, mudslides,
Monsoons, yeah.
tsunamis, volcanic
Hurricanes.
eruptions, hurricane, all that in
Yep,
1 year.
yep, yep.
It's a different way of seeing things. Like if the volcano erupts, you probably don't notice, but when the volcano erupts, it just doesn't flow lava. It spews out giant rocks the size of an SUV. That's what's gonna pelt you with, not just with the lava.
Hmm. Yep.
It's
Nope. And again, that's something I can only imagine, and from your description.
right.
Yep.
So it's tough, but it's a different world here. Uh,
So despite all that you're talking about, the monsoons, the typhoons, the hurricanes, the tornadoes, the earthquakes,
yeah.
still a enjoyable place to live.
Oh, you know what? You can't believe how happy Filipinos are.
I know many of Filipino people. I
You,
do know as you as a very pleasant culture. You're very, most of you almost have a smile on your face.
you know why? Because you don't know what's gonna happen. You can't even hang on to
So life is a surprise.
yes.
So life is enjoyable. I can understand that.
Yeah. And you don't cling on to, oh my gosh, I'm going to hoard a lot of things. No, a volcanic rock is going to land on your stuff the size of an SUV.
We're all terrified of dying of cancer, or or all those terrible diseases, or dying in a hospital of old age, but you know splat because you got hit by a flaming boulder. That's an interesting way to go, but I'm sure many people have, so
Yeah.
not
No,
totally
the Philippines
unimaginable.
is a ring of fire, so it's unique in that way. But
Gotcha.
but uh, 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 if you go outside the first world, it's a different world,
Mhm.
right? We're in the first world, like we flush a toilet, it's there, right? In India, I know this because I work with the international projects director international. We had to build latrines because the town girls, they have to relieve themselves in their latrine. It's not just a question of privacy. It's a question of safety. They get jumped on. They even go as a group and not and go outside the border of their town to relieve themselves. They still get jumped on. So to prevent that, we were building latrines in villages in India. That's what it is. Imagine risking your life to go to the toilet. That's what you do every night if you're in India.
Wow.
You risk your life to
Yeah.
go to the toilet. Here you just, you know, it's
Something
no
we
big
take for
deal.
granted. Yeah, it's something we take
You
for
take it
granted.
for granted.
We've come a long way to making sure we have indoor plumbing, and we have these pipelines that we press a button and
Yeah,
our waste.
this is just conveniences, right? This is not true in all the world. It's not. It's just true here. Actually, there are more people who are living outside the first world than there are people living in the first world,
Mhm.
right?
And I'm not that cultured as far as that. I can't imagine the experiences that other people go through. I've been to Mexico last year. I went to Mexico for the first time. I can see a bit of the second world in Mexico, where people are living below standards and people are having a hard time trying to even feed. One of the things we called it the bucket brigade. So one day while we're there, there's hundreds of people, and they're just carting wheelbarrows of seaweed back and forth because the seaweed had piled up on the beaches.
Okay.
And my wife says, there's got to be a better system. Like, there's got to be something that, why are they all doing this with a wheelbarrow back and forth? Why don't they just put it in a truck, take it over there?
Yeah.
And I said, it's not about the system to make it easier. It's about how many people are going to be able to feed their family tonight.
Yeah.
We're going to be able to put a meal because they did some work.
Yes. Yes.
It's a bit of a substandard culture. It really is. Even though they're North America, right? You'd figure.
Yeah. North America. It's the same continent.
Right. You'd figure they're of the same standard as us, but I mean, there's no possible way their standard of living could keep up with ours, where we have technology, we have advancement, we have, um, running water,
Yeah.
and all these things that can't be matched.
That's why when I was raising my children in the Philippines and I was affluent because of I had a very good job, I hired one nanny for each child.
Mhm.
That nanny is the one supporting her family. So the more people I hire, the more I'm spreading the wealth.
Right.
That's why I have a laundry woman. I don't do my we don't do our laundry. We have a laundry. There's no washing machine in the Philippines,
Mhm.
so you have a laundry woman who looks does your laundry, and she feeds her family because she's working for you as the laundry woman. We have maids, we have drivers, so we have a lot of people in working in our household, and that's how you spread your you know the wealth around, because otherwise they'll have no it's in a population where there's 60% unemployment rate, which was the Philippines. You want to hire as many people as you can, right?
Of course. Yes. Absolutely, and I praise you for doing so because again, one of the concepts we like to promote here is called share the wealth. Share, in fact, I have a thing called share the wisdom, share the wealth, share the love.
Yeah,
And through that, through what you're doing there, you're actually doing all three. You know what I mean? You're sharing a process by which we can help to spread some of that wealth around, right? By sharing, just contracting out a service.
yeah.
Like I now contract out my lawn maintenance
Okay.
to my nephew, but to my nephew and
Yeah,
his friend who are doing it part time.
yeah,
You know what I mean? But I'm supporting them in their business that they're trying to start up on the side.
yeah,
Just a small thing you can do to help share the wealth. And then again, it's my nephew. But by doing this, sharing this a little bit, you're sharing that love. And that's one thing I like to
yeah.
promote here in the communities to share the wisdom, share the wealth, share the love.
It frees up your time.
It
Now you get
does.
to do what only you can do, because there's a part of your job that other parts of the things that you need to do that other people can, but there are other things that you need to do that only you can do. I concentrate my time on the part that only I can do. That's where my time is focused on, right? Even now, I have a live-in nanny now.
Mhm.
I've always had a live-in nanny, so she does the meal preparation and everything, because I want to be spending time on that, right?
Right. And that's another thing. I'm glad you said that way because you know what? There are so many things we don't enjoy. They're
Yes,
necessary, but we don't enjoy them.
yes,
And then somebody else is more fitted too,
yes.
right? So let these people do it, and that gets taken care of, and we get taken care of in that manner.
Like I sent her to a culinary school, so she went to a culinary school. She graduated, and now she I help her get them, and I'm paying her salary, and she's doing my cooking for me. But she can also decide not to cook for me. She can also decide to open her restaurant, or to work in a restaurant, or to work for a wealthy family. She has all those opportunities open for her, but she's still with me, even though she has her culinary arts, and and she can go work wherever she wants to work.
A little bit of loyalty there. Is that what you're suggesting?
Yes, what I'm suggesting is relationship is not always uh, is, money is not always the foundation of relationships,
Right.
right? So the reason why she's still with me is because she's used to being in our family, and she doesn't have her own family, and we house her. She has her own bed, and if she were to work for another person, she might have to get an apartment, right?
Mhm.
So she stays because we're family to her, right?
Yep. Yep.
And,
You've built a bond. You've built up a relationship. So important in life, right? So that's what I think that's what life is all about. I even have an expression. I say, I work to live, not the other way around,
that's
right?
right.
I work so that I can spend those moments. And you know what? Your nanny, yes, she works with you, but she also gets quality time too. So
Yeah,
why should she feel the need to leave and go somewhere else that might
she's
be
free to. She's free to leave anytime she wants. We don't have a contract anymore. When she was still in Canada, we have a 2-year contract. And in that 2 years, I sent her to school. When that contract is finished, she also graduated. So she can leave me with an education, but she didn't.
Mm,
She chose to stay with me.
yeah.
Right? So I think that relationship is undervalued, and also relationship building activities is also undervalued.
Right.
But I think we have to focus on building relationship more so than for example, monetary things,
Right.
right?
Because I mean, you had the money, but let me ask you this: would you have been successful if you were doing it all by yourself?
Never, never. So that's the thing, right? Not just in, not just in. I always hire people
Right.
because I think freeing up my time is the best bang I can get for my money because I get to focus on the things that I'm good at. Uh, but not only that, I also mean that of people, a lot of people, an army of people helped me along the way. Like you don't realize this, but you helped me a lot, right? I, if you remember, I'm on a scooter. You opened the door for me.
Sure.
That is such important thing for me. If you didn't feel make me feel welcome, you made me feel welcome. If you don't didn't make me feel welcome, maybe I wouldn't have been at ease in that seminar.
Absolutely, and that was part of the thing too. When I met you, actually, you don't know, but well, I don't know if you know, but I was volunteering at that event as an assistant, as an aide, and to make the event as successful as possible. And that was one of the things when I saw you. First of all, there was your smiling face. You were a joy to meet, but also that I knew you were going to have difficulty getting around. There's
Yes.
some small spaces there.
And
I wanted to make your experience that day as comfortable as possible.
so that's that. I look at that as I'm going to be cheesy, okay? I look at that as God smiling on me. That was God, saying to me, "You're welcome here. You're safe here. You're with friends here." Right? I get that feeling often. People are nice to me. No reason to be nice to me. I got my first job in Canada because uh, a receptionist was very nice to me. I gave her I walked door to door when I was still in Canada and handed out my resume, office to office. And I got to the corner of Eglinton and Warden and Eglinton and Scarborough. So I walked a lot. And this lady, when I gave her the resume, she picked up the phone. She didn't put the resume in her drawer. She picked up the phone. She called the HR coordinator. She goes, "Mike, I have somebody here who just handed me a resume. I think you should have a look at his resume." And so Mike came out of his office, resume, invited me to have an interview. I had an interview. At the end of that day, I was hired.
Nice.
Right? People, angels. You meet angels all the time. Like I'm not scared of people. I can see the angel in them. Right?
Sure.
So it gives me uh, courage to try things because I'm almost sure I will not fail. I have no fear that I will fail. I have no fear that I will fail on anything that I do. It's not
Awesome
a
for
question
that.
that I will fail,
Mhm.
right?
Awesome for that because there are so many people who can't get past that fear of failure in order to take action or to do something they want to do, and to be able to have that feeling, to be able to not worry about failure
No,
is
no,
a joy.
no. I'm going to tell you something really weird, okay? So when I left that morning to look for a job, like I said, I walked door to door. Before I left, we never had pizza in the Philippines. So I said to myself, going by the time I go home, I will buy pizza for my family and I'm going to put this topping, pepperoni and extra cheese, and we're going to enjoy pizza for dinner, right? When I got home that day, I was paid $75 because it's payday, so they had to cut me. Uh, they had to give me money for the end of the day because I start on Monday. but I worked Friday, so they gave me cash for that.
Got you.
I went home. I bought pizza, and I bought my wife a purse because the pizza was $25. I had $75. I had $50. I bought my wife a purse. So there goes my first paycheck, right? but but I already knew before I left the house that I was cooking pizza and that I'm going to have a job.
Mm. Yep. And so do you say you manifested? We know that term. Did you say you manifested it, or just it was going to happen?
I knew it. I knew it. I knew I'm going to pull that off.
So was that just faith that it was going to happen?
Yeah, it's I'm just my children never had pizza. I'm going out today. I'm claiming this pizza, bringing it home to them.
And so I guess that is the term of manifesting it. You manifested it. You made it happen truly because you believed it was going to happen. So, I mean,
I never doubted that I can do stuff like that. Like I'm on the right now for condominium, right?
yep,
I'm retired,
yep.
right? This is what I want.
And so you're living the life you want.
Yes.
Uh, so you've gone through now, essentially, like I said, I've mentioned 3 careers. We've talked about you. And in fact, there was 4 because you threw in the one about the laundry master or the clothier there. But so these careers have been an evolution, but what was the joy? What was it you truly wanted to do?
Well, the one that I really want to do is to to interact with to have an impact or a presence to people. I was once in a plane and I was it's a propeller plane, so I was resting my head on the window and the propeller's going. I went into a trance. anyway, anyway, in this trance, while I was in trance, I saw people's aura. This is weird.
Okay.
Okay. So I saw people's aura. It's a small plane. Like there's maybe 12 of us, if that. So I saw people's aura. And I noticed that some people have slime on their aura, some slime on their aura. And I was going, oh, poor those poor bastards with a lot of slime in their aura. They must really be suffering. And the next thing I knew, boom, all the slime fell all the slime fell off. And everybody was just a shining aura. So to me, that means that you can't feel superior over another person because his sufferings can disappear just like that,
Mhm.
right? So
And yours can appear. You can have new suffering just like that.
yeah, yeah. So there's no you can't have an ego that, oh, I'm better than this guy. No, we're
Right.
underneath the circumstance. We're all like magnificent aura. So I just felt so much love for this. I call them eggs. They're like eggs, giant eggs of aura.
Sure.
And I was rubbing it like that. Oh, I love it so much. I was rubbing it. And you know what I felt? Someone was rubbing me. So as I was doing to this aura, I'm feeling so, meaning we are connected. We are the same.
Right.
The amount of love I show him is the amount of love I'm receiving too.
Right.
Right?
Right. I totally believe in that. Like look, there's an expression, you get out of life what you put into it, right? And that's exactly what that means. Look,
So
um,
cool.
my interaction with you when we met could have
Yeah,
been totally different. If I had treated you a different way,
yeah,
maybe even if I'd have been opening the door for you, but I was opening the door with them, you need this. Come on, you come on through. You know what I mean? With a little bit of a disrespect, or you're in a wheelchair, so you're not as quality as me.
yeah.
It could have been a totally different experience, right?
Yes,
So, but because I was considerate of you, and I wanted you to have a great experience there that day,
yeah,
our relationship is that much better, and
yeah.
aura and your feelings are that much better. My feelings are that much better because I'm making you feel better.
Yeah,
What an experience to have, right?
and even now we're benefiting from it.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I want to do, is just to int- and touch people, and be loved,
Mm,
love and be loved, right?
yeah.
So that's I do that in right now as a psychotherapist, because because I can't do financial planning anymore. So I'm a psychotherapist. What I do now, that's how I manifest it. I've manifested it in different ways in different stages of my career. Uh, so at this stage in my career, that's how I manifest my love through psychotherapy, because there's just so much mental health crisis out there,
Right. Especially right now, right?
especially right now. But
Yeah.
that's
And so you have set yourself up in this path because you, again, this is what you wanted to do. You wanted to influence and interact with people to help them live a better life. That's what we do here.
yes,
So I mean, I applaud you for that. And psychotherapy, tell me a little bit more about that. What does the term mean?
yeah,
How do you apply it?
yeah. Psychotherapy is in layman's language is talk therapy. Therapy is treatment, right?
Right.
So it's talk therapy. So that means that you talk and I listen.
Okay.
Just ask some questions, because all the answers. This is the psychotherapy practice, right? You have all the answers already to your problems. You have all the answers. It's just hidden from you in your subconscious. And there's a reason why things are hidden from you in your subconscious, because your subconscious role is to protect you from harm, right? So, if, for
Right.
example, if you have a fear of failure, don't want to progress in your career, right? There's a reason for that, because your subconscious is saying, don't attempt too much, because you're going. If you fail, we're going to die. Your subconscious wants you to live. If you fail, we're going to die. Okay. So my job, therapist, is to allow you to bring up that subconscious reality into conscious reality. So now it's on the table. It's now in your consciousness. Now we can probe it. We can poke at it. We can talk about it. We can analyze it. We can get to the bottom of it. And when you understand why you're afraid of failure, now you can decide not to be afraid anymore, right? So if for example your business is stuck, you don't know why. Maybe you don't want it to grow. Maybe because your subconscious is saying, if you grow, you're going to have a hard time. So don't grow. Meanwhile, at your conscious level, you're struggling. Why am I not growing? Why am I stuck here in this stage in my business for the past 5 years?
Mhm.
But your subconscious is saying, don't grow anymore, because you're going to suffer. Now I'm going to pull out that through talking. I'm going to pull that out. You talking to me about it,
Mhm.
and I ask these specific questions. We're going to pull that out and bring it into your conscious level, and now we can analyze it. Is it true that you will suffer if you grow? Is it really? If it is, then okay, then consciously you can accept that this is as far as I go. But if we say no, it's not true. I have other coping mechanisms, and that's what another thing that a psychotherapist will do, is to recommend coping mechanisms. How else could you handle if you grow? What are the things you can, like, you can learn to prioritize, like you can learn to delegate, like you can learn to be less controlling, things like that,
Mhm.
right? So coping mechanisms. We can also study coping mechanisms, and now you're not afraid to grow anymore because you know you can handle it.
Mhm.
So that's what it is in a nutshell.
So you said talking,
Yeah,
and it
talking.
looks like you're giving tools. You're giving people, again, empowering them to make this happen for themselves. I just want to clarify: this is not like NLP or well, maybe it is in a way, but it's not like
No,
hypnotism or hypnotherapy, right?
no. Hypnotherapy is good because uh, hypnotherapy allows you to uh, works on your subconscious. Hypnotherapy is the opposite. Hypnotherapy works on your subconscious, right?
Mhm.
A hypnotherapist is talking to your subconscious. I'm talking to your conscious. So I'm not going to do anything that you're not conscious of.
Right.
A hypnotherapist will do something that you're not conscious of. I cannot do anything that you're not conscious of. I will have to bring it out from your subconscious into your conscious. Hypnotherapist short circuits all that and go directly to the subconscious, right? So there's good in both. Uh, I just personally, I I think hypnotherapy is a little bit uh, manipulative, although it works. So it's good for the patient, for the
I
client.
suppose depending on what the treatment is you're trying to solve, it
Yeah,
could have its uses.
yeah,
And
yeah.
again, the idea is still you're acting with the patient's permission, and you're still taking their care under consideration before you attempt such a deep probing of their subconscious. So I'm
So
actually
I I I, I have a hypnotherapist. Her name is Melora Parker. Maybe I should introduce you to her. She's a wonderful lady.
well, yeah, I'm actually studying, and I'm just getting into it, but through Steve Jones. I'm not sure if you know him, Dr. Steve G. Jones. He's big in teaching people life coaching and hypnotherapy as well. So I'm studying under him, just beginning the study, but I'm getting to understand what hypnotherapy is and how it can be useful. So,
It's really cool. Hypnotherapy is cool. It gets results very quickly,
right,
unlike psychotherapists that you need multiple sessions. I
right,
generally take at least 3 sessions.
mhm, right. And that's because, I mean, you mentioned relationships are important.
Mhm.
And I mean, the very first thing you have to do with any new patient is get to know them and build that relationship, right? And that takes a bit of time itself.
Yes. So I have a rule in my practice. I have a 45-minute session every time, and all 45 minutes is about the patient. All I will not take 1 minute to talk about me. All 45 minutes is about the patient. So if a patient says, uh, when I was 10 years old, my parents divorced, I'm not going to say, oh, you know what? My parents still had a fight when I was 16 still. No, none
Mhm.
of that. It's all about the patient. 45
Right.
minutes time.
Whereas you and I are here sharing an interaction and
Yeah.
sharing our events and opinions, right, for other people to learn from. This is more just, what can I learn from you and how can I
So
help you,
this
right?
is not a session. This is not a therapist.
Right. This is a conversation
This is a
between,
conversation.
exactly. So totally different. You know what? Maybe we can do a session here one time down the road so people can get an idea of what
So
it would be like.
it's very private. Like I'm going to the first thing I ask is who are the important people in your child parents.
Hmm.
So so we'll talk about I have my grandpa. This is a recent case I had. This is a recent client I had. I and when I was little, he'd give me a bath, then he'll put me in his lap, and he'll brush my hair. Ding 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 ding.
Of course.
You know why there are uh,
Trust issues or.
right? So things like that, I can get that out fairly quickly. Uh, but I still need at least 3 sessions to get some traction on doing a healing process.
Well, again, I want you to be a big part of our community. I want you to be able to help some people out there.
Yeah.
And you and I have talked about it. Um, are you still offering now? You try to fill up your sessions. You are a licensed therapist, so you want to get paid for your services, but you also have this thing called the blues, out of the blues with Anthony or something like that, where you offer your sessions for free.
Yes, I do, and I still do. Actually, uh, I don't consider myself a professional psychotherapy because I'm technically disabled. I cannot have a profession. An insurance company is
Understood.
paying me to sit at home and be disabled, right? So that's one of my sources of income. I have other sources of income. I have annuity, I have pension, I have RRSP. So I'm set.
Got you.
And Great West Life is giving me disability income. So I I don't put a fee restriction or money restriction on any of the people I talk to. I look at them as friends who need help. So just come over. I will give you 3 sessions, and and I hope in 3 sessions will be fine. If you want, you're free to give me any amount of money you want to. But a psychotherapist is 160 per hour per session. But it's virtual, so I cut that in half, $80 per session. But I'm not looking for that because I don't consider myself professional. I have an accreditation number, but I don't consider myself a professional. So just talking with a friend. The thing with talking with a friend is uh, your friend. If your friend is not trained to listen to you, then you'll get into a conversation like I was talking about. When it's not about you, it's about now. Also, there's the chance of rejection. Your friend might reject you, and also there is a chance that all you did is unburden yourself on your friend, so you just transferred your energy to your friend, which is not fair,
Mm,
right?
right.
So the fair thing to do is to go see a professional psychotherapist.
Mm,
So I'm just a friend who happens to be a psychotherapist.
got you.
So you don't have to pay me like you don't have to pay your friend. You don't have to pay me. I'm okay. I have Great West Life disability insurance. I have RRSP I withdraw every month. I have a CPP pension, so I'm good.
So
And I
are you not worried that some professional psychoanalyst board is going to come after you and say, hey, you can't be charging nothing? You know, is that something that's going to prevent you from doing this down the road?
I have a lawyer, and my lawyer says it's cool. I mean, if it's as long as uh, the threat is coming more from patients, right? Because these are people who have mental health issues.
Right.
Like if someone says that Anthony said this and that to me and it's inappropriate, then I have to defend myself. That's why I record all my sessions.
Got you. Okay, so you record all your sessions, but
With the
um,
knowledge of the person.
so you have to have a contract with them, even
Yeah,
if you're not charging with them, right?
I have a contract. I have
Congr-
rules to start. So I have 7 rules. I enumerate them,
mhm.
and if they agree, then that's the term of read them and record them as I'm reading them.
Got you. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They say yes, I agree. Yes, I agree. Yes, I agree. Then
Yeah,
that's it.
because I mean that would be the thing. That's to be only the way that I mean, because you're giving them professional advice. You're giving them professional guidance, so you have to be backed up like that. Because I would hate to see you or this service stop down the road, right? So I want to be able to promote it. I want to be able to let people know that Anthony's out there to help you,
Yes,
but
I'm
Anthony's got to be there for a while, right? So
I'm just here to as long as my brain is still working, and I have ears to listen, and I can contribute to the discussion. Then I'm here, right? So
absolutely.
I don't need to have like a psychotherapist needs 20 patients a week. I don't need 20 patients a week. If I have one, two, three, four, five, 10 patients, that's it, right? That's why I also want to finish my sessions quickly, like 3 sessions, because I want to take in as many people as possible. If I have 20 patients going on for years, that's only 20 people I'm helping,
Correct.
right? So, so I will, as long as there's a time spot, as long as time uh, in my booking, I will take on anybody, regardless. I guarantee that person I will see him for 3 sessions minimum if he wants, and I'm not going to charge him anything. If he wants to see me for a fourth session and other sessions thereafter, just let me know. But of course, at that time, I will be have skin on the game
Right.
because you get the benefit from it's an exchange, right? Money is an exchange. There's an energy there. If
Yep.
you're not pumping in energy into this equation, then it's not a healthy relationship, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's
So
not about money.
no, exactly. Well, I mean, money's a valuable tool. It's a valuable resource, but there is so much involved in our lives that we can manage without money. You know what I mean? That we need to exist without money.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that smiling face right there. You know what I mean? So much more valuable than money. So,
Yeah.
because it's a contagious. Look, you just made me smile just by sharing that,
You're
right?
so,
So,
man.
there's one way we can help people.
Yeah, you're so awesome.
Thank you. I'm glad. I'm glad you find it that way too. But so w- tell us now, first of all, how can people reach you? We'll tell them again before the end, but how can people reach you to get one of these sessions or these three
Yeah,
sessions?
because I just won my disability benefit from Greatest Life, so I have to shut down every formal source of income. So I
Correct.
shut down my website. I shut down everything. But you can email me, Florendo, my last name, Florendo, that my first name, Anthony at gmail.com. So florendo.anthony at gmail.com, and we'll set something up, right?
Awesome. Yep. Awesome. Absolutely. So before we're going to start ending out the show.
Okay.
I want you to leave people with some advice that's going to help them empower their life. So let's start with that. What advice can you give people out there to empower their own life?
Okay, this is one thing I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna say this from experience. Okay, I'm old now. I've lived a long life. I had a lot of experiences in my life. Okay, this is a friendly. Do not be afraid. This universe exists to help you. This universe is here to be a playground for you. So go out and play. Don't be fearful. Don't be worried. Be at play because you're at play in the field of God. God put you here to be playful. Okay? Don't take everything seriously. Be playful and you will not fail. There's nothing you can do to fail except if you wish for failure upon yourself. You cannot fail. I don't know what's more empowering than that. Whatever you
Awesome.
do, you will not fail. You cannot make a mistake. You are not going to make a mistake. Whatever the outcome is, it was not a mistake.
Right. If you
Okay?
can learn from it, absolutely. Right.
It was not a mistake. It was never a mistake. You will not make a mistake. You will not fail. You're just playing. So stop getting in your own way with all these thoughts and all this.
Awesome.
That's it.
So then finally, what can we do as a society to help empower life for everybody?
Yeah. What I think we can do, and this 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 is very simple, right? This is very simple. Just choose to be kind. Just choose to be kind. Kindness. Whenever you meet somebody, you have a choice. Am I going to be kind to this person or am I not going to be kind to this person? Choose to be kind. It costs less than being unkind. I mean, it will make you feel better. It will put spring on your step. Yeah, just choose to be kind, and let things fall where they may. Like I said, you cannot make a mistake anyway. So why are you afraid to choosing to be kind? Be kind. Don't worry about, is the guy going to abuse me? Is he going to take advantage of me? Just choose to be kind and see what happens. You will not make a mistake being. If everybody chooses to be kind, then we will be in a totally, totally different universe than where we are now. My universe is all about kindness. I have no evil thought on anyone.
Nice. I'm very much in the same boat with you. In fact, one of my mantras is I hit them with everything I've got. Now, hit for me is an acronym,
Okay.
which stands for honesty,
Yeah.
integrity,
Yeah.
and tact.
Wow.
So, in other words, that's what I put into me when I'm trying to interact with somebody. I want to treat them as honest as I can. I'm going to be real with them, but I'm going to be, honest, open. Then I want to treat them with integrity. I'm going to be me. I'm going to be real for them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then tact, I have to be considerate of them. I have to know their feelings and be considerate of that
Yeah.
while I'm telling them these delicate things that I may have to tell them.
Yeah. No, awesome. But don't shy from telling people the truth, though. Like, if I have to, like I get people from social media saying this and that about the vaccine, and I know it's not true. I'm gonna say that's not true.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
like
Don't
this,
spread rumors. Absolutely.
yeah, like this lady who says, if you take COVID vaccine, your life insurance is null and void. Right? No, it's not. Life insurance is a
Or,
contract.
or, or if you don't get the vaccine, your life insurance is null and void.
So
Oh my God.
I have to say sorry. That's not.
Yeah, stand up and say no. That's a falsehood. But another thing is, I had to learn the tact because I was too honest at a period of time. I was brutally honest, and I would say the wrong things. So I had to learn to add the tact to it and be very considerate of the way I deliver a message, or maybe
Yeah,
this message doesn't need to be delivered. Right? You have to consider that too.
yeah, exactly. So there's a four-way test in the Rotary. I'm part of the Rotary. Is it the truth? Is it beneficial to all concerned?
Hmm.
Beneficial? Why are you even gonna say it, right?
Right.
Right? If
Absolutely.
you're gonna benefit from it, although it's the truth, don't even say it.
Yep.
Will it build better friendship? If it's not, no, what the heck are you doing? You should
Exactly.
try
So, and we're all looking out for our fellow man, or we should be at the end of the day, because that's looking out for us at the end of the day.
Yeah, no. If everybody would be interacting with each other as you and I are interacting, let's pretend we're presidents of our country and we're interacting like this. Do you think I'm going to bomb you? You're
No, exactly.
not going to
Um,
bomb me either, right?
right. There's a better relationship, which prevents, or not prevents, but brings about better diplomacy,
Yeah.
better
For example,
relationships.
if I was Palestine and you were Israel and we're talking like this, you're not going to bomb me,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, we can
No,
stop this tomorrow. Never mind going for 11 days.
no, isn't it?
So yeah, I understand, and that's exactly what we're about here, and that's why I love to carry on these conversations, because we, by having this conversation, and hopefully enough people out there get to listen to this conversation, that they get empowered just by taking in some advice, or some lighthearted camaraderie between some friends, right?
That's right. That's right.
So, Anthony, thank you for joining me today. Thank you for coming out and sharing the wisdom with everybody out there.
Thank you.
You're a joy to have, and of course, you've shared a lot of powerful wisdom today.
Okay. Thank you.
So thank you for coming out. Again, please take advantage of Anthony's appointments. Again, florendo.anthony@gmail.com, and get on his calendar. Whatever you can afford, get
Or not.
talking to somebody.
Okay.
And
All right.
get talking to somebody so friendly as
Yeah.
Anthony.
Okay.
Anthony, thank you for your time today. You have a great day. Everybody out there, until next time, better days ahead.
Bye for now.